Okay. So now moving forward, looking at how we play across the channels. Obviously, this is not exactly as per the scale, but I've already told you guys that your wings are these areas, then you have half spaces, and then you have the central area. So we are already aware of that. I'm assuming even those who've not attended the sessions have a general idea of how we've divided it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels. And the central channel being the one where we want to maximize it the most, we want to try and score the most from here. Now, in a typical setup, if you look at it this way, usually this is what happens. Uh, think of this as a 4-3-3 that we want to play, or you can also look at it the same way, like I said, 4-3-3, or 2-2-1-2-1-2. This is how we are going to play in 11v11 as well. What is interesting to note over here is that just count how many players do you see in each channel. How many players do you see in each channel? Over here, in this channel, in this channel, in this channel, and in this channel. This is where we are looking at balance. We want to balance out. We want this is the ideal situation. This is the ideal formation. This is the ideal situation. Where what we have is, we have 2 players on every channel, if you look at it, right? And the job of these players is obviously to move across the channels as and when required, including the center backs. Yes, including the center backs. So it's not just always that the center back has to play here or only up to the defensive third and maybe not to the midfield third. If you look at teams like Bayern, teams like Liverpool, teams like the high pressing teams, they usually have 2 center backs over here, almost near the opponent half line. But again, you always want to make sure that we have this. This is our ideal stable formation, ideal stable positions, making sure we have 2 players in every channel. Now, when we're playing 7v7, what happens is, like I showed you in the other video, these 2 players have gone out, and for us, these 2 players have gone out. So when we're playing 7v7, it becomes the job of these players to cover extra areas. Right? So this is what we see then. So tomorrow when we play, this is again the formation which I showed you earlier when I divided the pitch into into thirds. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at playing like this, where you have 2-1-2-1. Again, this 2 over here, right now I've shown it over here in the half spaces. The reason I've shown them in half spaces is that with the keeper, the defenders need to be closer to the goal because we want to protect the central area. Tomorrow, whoever chooses to play defense, whether you play left or right, your job is not just to look at this channel or maybe just look at this defensive third. It's not just that. You are taking on an additional responsibility tomorrow where you're going to also play as a fullback. You're also going to play as a centre back, centre half, and on certain occasions you might also play as a midfielder. So we are not just going to look at you as functioning in one single role, and again, we are not going to choose players who are just because they are taller and just because they are defenders or just because they played defense. We are looking at everyone to be able to play in every position, everyone being able to be a proper ball player, everyone having good coordination, good ball control, good at the feet with both feet, good with aerial passes, good with headers, good with trapping the ball, good with passing, good with dribbling. So don't for a second even think that hey, because I'm going to play a central midfielder, I don't need to dribble a lot, I just need to have good vision to pass. Hey, if I'm going to play as a striker, I don't need to defend a lot. Don't be under that impression, because for us, this is our first defender. This guy, whoever is at the first, he is the first defender, and if you're not defending well, then everything over here behind you gets affected. Same applies over here. This guy, the goalkeeper, is my first attacker. this is where the attack starts. So the further behind you stick and stay, the more it's going to cause the whole team to come and pressurize. The further ahead you are, the more forward we can move, the more we can attack, the more we can put pressure on the opponent team. So that occupies one certain area, aspect of what we're going to do. That occupies one aspect of what we are planning to do tomorrow. Now I want to look at how and what the roles are going to be.